Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy 2024. For those who are not familiar with my videos, my name is Enrique and I'm the owner of Newman Candle Co. and based here in Rhode Island. And I'm excited to talk about my 2024 candle business goals. So I was just recently revisiting my goals that I had for last year, and boy, how things look so different. And so I'm going into my third year in candle making, and do I still like it? Yes, I still like it. Actually, I love it. It's a de-stressor for me. It's a great hobby. It's a side hustle. It's awesome business. I've incorporated my little girls now. They help me out. I call them my little interns. My wife helps me out. She helps me do some shows. She helps me with marketing. So it's become like a family affair now. It's great. My wife just made her first candle ever a few weeks back, and I've been talking to my 6-year-old about how one day, if they would like to take over, you know, that would be amazing. So they can continue the family business, family legacy. But as you can see, I'm well. I'm excited. It was a hard year, to be honest. Inflation took a toll on many businesses. Prices skyrocketed, and many. I did not, I have not raised prices yet. Maybe one of these days I will. I've been thinking about it because it's just not sustainable. If you're in a business to make money, and at some point you have to make that hard decision, because what cost such and such amount does not cost that anymore. I mean, I've seen 20, 30, 40% increases in items, and you have to keep up with it. And so you gotta be creative and think of ways how you can make up for that without putting too much on the customer, because I am a customer too, and you're a customer as well. So those are things to think about. But going and revisiting about the goals that I had for last year. So for example, last year I one of the goals I had was to do more vendor shows, which I did not do, and I'm gonna explain to you why. So I ended up doing 11 shows, and the reason I did 11 shows was because at the beginning of the year, like around, actually it was around spring, I started feeling, if you hear something, that's my dog who's coughing. I had some thoughts about family, and I have 3 little girls, and I was just thinking, like, you know what? I'd rather be with them, because these years are not coming back, than at a vendor show for, I don't know, 4 to 8 hours selling candles and not being with them. So I cut down a lot on my goal. I think it was to go 25 to 30 shows, and I ended up doing 11. So I became a little bit more strategic on that, and how many shows I was going to do, but also I wanted to focus on the shows that really bring in the money, and the ones that are, where my customers go and see me face to face and interact with me. So I did that. Also, in that, one of my other goals was to pay off some debt. Because when you go into business, you start buying things and making sure that you have the best machines to make candles more efficiently and effective and all those things. So that was one of my other goals. And my other goal was, I believe I had said in my other videos, to have at least acquire 2 wholesale accounts, which is, for me, hasn't been easy over here. But one of the positives was that I was able to get another wholesale account, and the previous one that I had put a second order in, so that was great as well. So that was very exciting to see that, and to see my candles in a different place now, which is a coffee shop, and they're pretty well established and well transited, and so that was very exciting. So just thinking about the goals for this year, they're kind of gonna be similar, but in a different way. So for example, I want to continue growing my wholesale. So last year my goal was 2 wholesale accounts. I was able to get 1. This year I want to do 3 wholesale accounts. I'm thinking about maybe a spa, and I want to hit another winery, and hopefully another coffee shop. So those are the three that I'm going to target. I'm going to be very intentional about meeting with them, showing them my samples, my reputation. One of the great things about focusing on branding last year was like after a few years, if you work really hard at it, especially if you get your face out there in person, um, people will start to recognize you and recognize your brand, and hopefully buy your product and be very satisfied with it. And that's one of the things that has happened with my candle company, and I'm very grateful and feel blessed because of that. So to work on three wholesale accounts for this 2024, um, again, spa, wine candle, spa, a wine, a winery, and then another coffee shop. So that's one of my goals. The second goal is to focus more on online sales. There was times last year where, a lot of my shows, did not do well, and it wasn't just me. It's just because of inflation, and people are just keeping their monies in their pocket, their money in their pocket, and a lot of these vendors with me were just having terrible days, and I had a couple of those too. And as a matter of fact, one of the great things was the last vendor event that I did. It was my best show of the year, and I actually did better than the previous year. So that was very encouraging to me. That hopefully things are on the change, um, and flipping the other way around. But it was something to take into consideration that inflation did take a toll, and I did something that I'd never done before, which I was offering kind of like a deal, like if you buy two, you get a discount and things like that, which I didn't do the previous year. But that did help with sales, and I wasn't losing too much because you got to be smart, you got to do your numbers, you got to crush your numbers and make sure that it's helping you out as well. But as an incentive, I did offer that. So focus more on online sales, because one of the things that happens is there would be some days that, like as I was saying, that I have a good show, but that same day I would get some online sales, or the next day or the next week, and that would supplant, or that would make up for the loss in sales in person. So that was very encouraging, just to wake up or to hear your phone ding or see the app bing and see that you've made a sale. So and that doesn't take too much effort, especially if you've set up a really nice Shopify website, which is the one I suggest. It's not easy. Take your time. I learned by myself, but I spend many hours on YouTube trying to learn, and I'm still trying to optimize and grow and make it look really professional, and all those things. So the second one, I'm sorry, the first one is to grow wholesale. The second one would be to focus more on online sales. And then the third one would be to grow social media. This is the hardest. Again, little kids, married, full-time job, this, another part-time job, other things that you do. But that's not an excuse. So, yes, I have a presence on Instagram. Yes, I have a presence on TikTok. Yes, I have a presence on YouTube. Yes, I have a presence on Facebook. No, I don't do Etsy. And I'm not going to do Etsy for many reasons, including fees and competition and all that. So, but I will be more intentional in putting videos together. And I know, you know what? I failed. I said that if you look at my Kendo business goals for 2023, I said I was going to do that. And I didn't do it. The only one that was mostly used was probably Facebook and Instagram. And again, my wife runs those, and she tries to help me out with that. And that was a fail on my part. But you know what? It's a new year, and it's a reset, and we get to do it all over again and learn from our mistakes and try to build upon that. And that's what my intention is for this year. Am I gonna have a schedule? Probably not. But we're gonna, one of the things that I think we're gonna try this year is gonna be reels. Everybody's been raving about reels, and I've tried it on TikTok, and I could see how many views, many more views you get, but it hasn't translated into sales. So that was kind of like my thing. Like, okay, if it doesn't translate into sales, yeah, your branding is out there, but for what? So that people, copy you, so that people, ask you questions. And I understand that once you put yourself out there, they're going to be asking you, where did you get this? Where did you buy that? Instead of, hey, I want to smell your candle. Hey, I want to invest in your candle. Hey, I want to buy your candle. But that just comes with the territory. It's part of that side of business, if I may say that. And the last thing, and for me, this is the most important thing, is perfecting my candle. So this year I'm going to introduce my last two collections and two or three collections, and then I'm going to be done. Right now I have 37 cents in my kind of company, and I want to introduce two to three more collections, and then I'm done with collections. And then with the sales, I try to dwindle down the candle scents within those collections to see what works, what doesn't work. And it might change from year to year, but I want to make sure that I perfect my candle. Every year I'm trying to innovate and just make it the best candle possible. Right now I am, testing, of course, new wigs. I'm doing more, blending of oils, which is kind of scary because you're like, I don't want to waste any fragrance oil. But that's just part of doing business and innovating. It's important to innovate. It's important to push yourself. It's important to have measurable goals that you can look back at. And it's important to have accountability within yourself, within your company, in competition as well. So those are some of the things that I've been thinking about. Of course, I made mistakes last year. I'm going to my third year. I overspent in one outside vendor show. I paid for 10 vendor shows with this single guy, and I just didn't go to any of them. That was a lot of money, and that was very, very dumb on my part. It just, I just wanted to be with family, and I didn't care for a Saturday morning from 7 to 3 being out there selling candles. And and I paid the price because it was money that went down the drain, but you live and learn. And also recently, maybe like a week ago, I just bought some candles, and one of the items that comes with the candles did not work with my candles, and I have to return them, and they have a 20% restocking fee. So you're gonna make mistakes. You gotta live with that, but you gotta move forward, and that's one of the things that you learn from making mistakes is to be able to, how are you gonna gather yourself up and not pounce on yourself and just say, hey, listen, okay, fine, that happened, let me do something different this time. So I'm excited for this year. I'm going away for a trip, to do a mission trip. When I come back, I'm going to come back with full force and effect, and I just to push things along. I've been fixing my candle studio, and my candle office is my candle office, and just been trying to work on labeling and changing a little things on my label, and just little things like that. And like I said in my last video, when you have many things, when you have free time, just work on your candle. Just do little things here and there, so it doesn't feel like you're overwhelming yourself. And so that's what I have here for right now for this year. These are my candle goals. I hope, come January 2025, Lord willing, to be able to come back and say, hey, I actually stuck to the goals, and I was able to see some growth in maturity in my company and myself as an entrepreneur and a businessman. But I thank you for your support. I want to hear about you. Hey, last year I heard about some great people telling me, hey, I'm starting a business, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I also want to be inspired by you. I want to hear what you're doing. I want to hear what you've tried, what you failed, and it helps me also. So I wish you the best here, and may God bless you.